In the year 2038, a deadly virus broke out on Earth. Anyone who fell asleep would die. At a late-night party, two people got into an argument. Suddenly, one of them accidentally knocked over their friend on the sofa. Strangely, after being knocked over, their friend collapsed and did not move. Mark rushed over to check on his friend. He discovered that his friend had stopped breathing. He immediately performed CPR on his friend and urged his friends to call the police for help. However, after calling for a long time, no one answered at the police station. Seeing that someone had died, the other friends immediately made excuses to leave the scene. Mark could only run into the house to find others for help, but he found a couple lying quietly in bed, also having stopped breathing. Mark thought that toxic gas had leaked into the room. He quickly covered his mouth and nose and went to Harvey. He told him that the other three friends had stopped breathing. It was likely caused by some kind of gas leak. If they stayed in the house, they would also be in danger. So, at Mark's suggestion, Harvey helped him carry the three bodies to the car and drove to the hospital for help. However, upon arriving at the hospital, they were horrified to discover that the hospital corridors were filled with corpses. But in this emergency situation, they could only rush to ask the doctors for help. After listening, Anna immediately brought people out to check. After checking, she directly determined that there was no hope of saving them. The corpses could only be temporarily placed in the car for now, because there were also a large number of patients who died at the hospital tonight. The hospital was currently severely short-staffed and lacked equipment. They could only wait for the police to arrive before conducting a detailed investigation. The two could only return to the hospital and wait in the lobby. The patients, who had no one to attend to them, could only close their eyes and rest. But they didn't know that all emergency communications with the outside world were down. The doctor, sensing that something was wrong, left everyone behind. Anna could only turn to the nurse helplessly. The nurse said she could help, but after working all night, she needed to rest for a while. Little did she know that this sleep would be her last. Soon, Mark was the first to notice something was wrong. He saw the sleeping man foaming at the mouth, a clear sign of unconsciousness. He hurriedly got up to call the man's family, but the next moment, the woman also collapsed helplessly. At this point, Anna heard the commotion and rushed over. Seeing this situation, she hurried to the restroom to wake up her colleagues, but she discovered that they had also stopped breathing unnoticed. Now everyone was completely confused. Plus, they couldn't get in touch with the police. Anna realized that something bigger might have happened outside. She took Mark and Harvey in the car to check out the city. At that moment, the streets of the entire town were deserted. Anna tried firing a shot into the air, but still no one responded. She realized that everyone in the town seemed to have died in their sleep.